Alright, well this video is based on what do you do if one of your weights falls off your torque converter. Well, ideally the best thing to do is replace your torque converter. But if the weight, actually you could find the weight and you could weigh the weight on a scale and find out what the weight of that weight was, you could weld it back on. So I actually have a brand new torque converter that fell off my truck. That fell off. I have a weight. I just put a brand new transmission in my vehicle. Here's the old transmission. Here's the old torque converter. And here is the weight that fell off my brand new torque converter. I literally put the transmission in the vehicle, fired it up, and within 5 minutes I hear a clang, clang, clang. I'm not a happy camper. I do not want to pull the whole transmission out just to replace the damn weight. Thankfully I found the weight and I was able to weigh it, and it weighed 17 grams. So I ordered another weight. Now the thing is, how thick is this metal? What setting do I need to have it on in order to weld it on so that it'll actually stay on? So we've done some testing, me and my friend here, Jason. And first of all, what we need to do is get enough penetration into the metal before it fills the hole. So we did some test runs, drilling holes and then settings, and we ended up with is we're welding at 5/16 thick, 20 volts, 325 wire speed. And I actually got penetration, and I'm not able to chisel this off of the material because of penetration. When I did it at the 1/4 inch thick, even with a good nice bead on the top, it just wasn't enough penetration. It filled the hole. Now on the drill, I'm using just this drill that you can pick up at Harbor Freight, and we went to the, here, hold this for me. We tried it at the first hole size, and it filled the hole so quickly that you just didn't get enough penetration into the metal. So I went to the second size, and that's what I did here, is the second size for the setting for how big the hole is, and then I just stuck the wire feed directly at the center on the metal. I don't want to move my wire feed. I want to hit right in the metal, get penetration, and let the wire feed fill itself and grab a hold of the weight, because the weight is such a thin metal, you'll just melt the metal. So you want to stay directly on. So that's what I've done. Now we did test the welds on here to make sure I didn't punch a hole through it at 1/4 inch. We're actually going to test the welds right now at 5/16, a 20 volt, 325 wire speed, and make sure that I don't punch a hole in this torque converter. This is my test torque converter. I definitely don't want to punch a hole in my brand new torque converter that's in my vehicle, otherwise I will be pulling the transmission out. Again, like I said, this is the weight, this is what's left of the weight. These two pieces here were one piece. I weighed it. It weighed 17 grams with welds in it, filled. So we're just trying to match as close as we can to what came out of it. And then we'll check for vibration and make sure we don't have any. But right now, that's what we're getting. This was our test. This is, I think this is 1/4 inch thick right here, this metal here. And you know, you got to remember when you sit on a piece of metal and then you move side to side, you're able to heat up that area. But if you just sit in at one spot and then fill the hole, you're not going to get enough heat. So you got to make sure that you're hot enough. So that's what we're doing right now. We're going to go ahead and do a hot spot. I'll just have you watch me weld this one spot here, and I'll show them what we're doing. Here, we'll have to turn the wire feed back on and do all the fun stuff. But basically, this is just a test run. I did, like I said, a little bit of testing here. We want to make sure we don't go through and burn a hole. So we're going to sit there for a minute and go ahead and show them the settings on here. Now, if you look here, 325, 20 volt. We'll go ahead and go backwards. It shows that the thickness is 5/16 material. Okay, and that's where we're at. Make sure you don't have a ball on your tip here. Where's the cutter? I'll see you guys. We're videoing. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and trim that. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick it in a spot here. And we're just going to hold it there and make a nice little bead. Ready? And as you can see, I did not put a hole in it. That's about, I mean, you probably won't even be in there that long. So we just want to make sure that we're not going to put a hole in this torque converter. So we put a bead on it just to make sure that at that much power, if I stay in it in that one spot, then I'm not going to put a hole. Because there are vanes inside this torque converter. It is a TCC lockup torque converter. And I definitely don't want to put a hole in it. As you can see, that worked out just perfect. And that bead won't even be that big when I end up doing it with the weight, because I won't even be sitting on it that long. So I've really given it a good test by really staying on that area for a longer period of time and making sure that I didn't burn a hole in it. So again, here's the same setting. As you can see, I tried to knock it off with a chisel and hammer, and we got the setting good. So anyway, and the way we're going to hold the magnet onto the torque converter, excuse me, the weight, I just gave away my secret. The way we're going to hold the weight onto the torque converter is with these two little magnets that we have. These are little magnets, so we're literally going to put the weight on the torque converter, put a couple magnets on it, and the magnets are going to hold the torque converter in place. And then you'll use your ground strap and just hook it to the closest ground on the tranny, and then we'll be able to hit a weld and get a weld. And that's what these magnets are going to do, is hold it in place. So now on my torque converter, as you can see, I've cleaned this area up. But if you look at the torque converter in my vehicle where it fell off, you'll actually see this same exact shadow where a weight used to be. So I'm going to put it right back in the exact same spot and then do my 2 tack welds to hold it back in place and call it a day. So hopefully that works out for me. Hope this helps somebody else out. I found the weights on eBay. They were only a couple bucks each. Shipping was like $5. So I ordered a 15 and a 17 because this weighed 17 grams with the weld still in it. I'm going to drill it out and then weld it. And we did do some sampling. I want to let you guys know. We drilled the holes, weighed it. I mean, drilling 2 holes in this piece of metal, I didn't even see, what was it? It was it weighed, yeah, half a gram maybe. And then when we filled the weld, it went a half a gram above because of the penetration into the metal. It added about a half a gram for the penetration to the metal. So it literally, you take a half a gram out, you end up adding a half a gram on the other direction. So like I said, when I weighed this, if it would have weighed 17 with extra material hanging out the bottom, then you know, you just got to play with it a little bit. But we really are trying to get as close to 17 as possible because that's what the weight weighed. And as long as you're within a 0.005 plus or minus, you should be fine. And I'm definitely going to be within 0.001 or 0.002 on our specs. So we should be more than fine. So, all right, thanks for watching my video.